invited. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Drinks with Dee Dee. Here's your host, Dee Dee Sorvino.
Hey everybody, it's been that type of day. Let me tell you, it is that type of day. And when I tell you why, you're going to understand. Welcome to Drinks with Dee Dee. Always a fun time, never boring, sometimes crazy, usually crazy. But I'm just saying, today is off the hook. And let me tell you why. You're going to get a scoop. And it is a scoop. It is a Godfather, Goodfellas, Mafia, whatever scoop. What are you smoking, Michael? Like a stick? Like a pixie stick? I mean, what are you doing?
It's like a cigar in its case.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's a Maker's Mark cigar that I like sniffing the wax of rather than smoking.
That's so cool. And then we have Duane. He's really smoking something.
He inspired me.
I bet he did.
Nice Cuban.
All right, do all of you smoke? I don't smoke at all. I just drink. Do the rest of you smoke at all? Any other smokers? A little bit? Yeah. So anyway,
used to smoke a pipe, but I don't anymore.
Yeah, well, I think most of us are drinkers here. Drinks with Dee Dee. It's not smoking with Smokey and the Bandit, right? So here we are. So let me give you all the scoop. Again, everyone welcome, because our audience is getting bigger and bigger. For whatever reason, I don't know. I mean, I always thought we were controversial, but lately we're even more so. So we're getting all these new audience members, which is really cool. But today is the day. Today has been a shit show, okay? Which why not open it up to Friends with Drinks with Dee Dee? Because you're all friends, and this is a big deal. So anyway, welcome again. I am your host, Emmy Award-winning Drinks with Dee Dee. I'm just going to do that today because I'm in a bad fucking mood, right? So I'm just going to say I'm awesome, and some people suck. And let me tell you who sucks right now. So,
well, you're an Emmy Award winner, so it can't be you.
Well, it's not me. I'll tell you that right now. But okay, so let me tell you about this bottle of liquor. Since it's Drinks with Dee Dee, we talk about liquor. So this is Macallan, usually a pretty good bottle, right?
Yep.
Pretty good. In fact, let's pour it. Why don't you all tell me, just as we lead up to the main event. So what are you all drinking? Because I'm drinking Macallan, sent by Disney. By the way, Epix for Paul starring in Godfather of Harlem. This is the liquor bottle they sent for his birthday. So what are you all having? That's what I'm having. The whole bottle, by the way.
Aww.
Well, I have a bottle of Macallan 25 at home, but I'm at my office right now, so unfortunately, I'm just drinking Icelandic glacier water.
Oh.
But hey, it's exotic, but it's not alcoholic. I promise I'll have some of my Macallan when I get home.
All right, very good. That's good enough. Stephanie, what are you having?
I'm waiting for Rudy to come home with wine, so I don't know.
Rudy! Drunk Rudy?
Rudy.
Drunk cartoon Rudy?
Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach.
Give me a drink,
I'm
coach.
ready to play today. No, I love Rudy. I mean, who's just Rudy? When I think of Rudy, I think of that. But poor Rudy Giuliani, they keep making him like this drunk caricature of something. Honestly, you guys, I don't even know what it is. Can someone explain to me where they're calling Rudy the drunk guy? What did he do? What did Rudy Giuliani do this time to make the liberals mad?
This time.
No, I love Rudy, but they're mad at him and they're calling him the drunk something. What is it?
Probably just for breathing. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the media has it in for Rudy. I mean, he used to be. This is the thing.
Darling.
He used to be America's mayor. He used to be everyone. Even all the liberal networks loved him because of 9/11. And then everything shifted, and now it's when you lose their love. If they never love you in the first place, that's one thing. But if they used to love you and now they hate you, it's just off the deep end.
No, but Kurt, you have to admit, when you hook up with Trump, it's either love or hate. I mean, it just is. I've experienced that because I love Trump. So people now are like, I hate you, bitch, blah, blah. You used to be funny. And even though you're still funny, I hate you because you like Trump. Sue me. I don't care. I mean, that's okay. But no, really, if you hook up with Trump, people hate you or they love you. It is what it is. So I think that when Rudy decided to represent Trump or do it that's when people really went to town because, Kurt, you're right. He was America's mayor. Everybody loved him after 9/11. He did a great job, and he did. You can't take that away from the guy. whether you love him or hate him now because he's a friend of Trump's or just, I mean, look, I can't even keep track because all the Trump stuff is always like, it's like a pinball machine. And I'm old enough to know what that is.
The headlines all say something about Rudy blasts Trump aides over claim he was drunk on election night. And
Yeah, so I think that's
it's
it. I
all
think he was drunk,
variation
which
of
I love.
that.
No, nobody
Is that
here.
illegal to be drunk on election night in the United States? Did
I'm
I miss
a
something?
model. You know
Well,
what
People
I
get drunk
mean.
if they won. People get drunk if they lost. So
I was going to say, who isn't drunk on election night? That's why
So-
you
so
drink.
let's
Election night 2016, I was so drunk I can't remember going to bed. And when
I'm
they
with
came
you,
out-
Stephanie.
when they came out to basically tell the Democrats to go home, I'm on the phone with my best friend, who's an Orange County girl, and we were both mocking them. And it was the funniest thing.
Stephanie, darling, you sound like you're underwater.
Probably because
You are.
you guys speak for a second.
You can't go away because we got to talk about the offer. But we have to figure out why you sound underwater.
Right, it might be me. Let me look. Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, so she's going to fix that. So, Duane, you're the new guy here. We always bring in new people here and there. They rarely last. So I'm warning you. But you're smoking. I have confidence in you. I'm just letting you know that if you last, you are like Iron Man, okay? Because it's not easy here. It's not. So you're smoking. Yeah, oh, well, that's good because you're smoking dope as well. And it looks like you are, which is great. I'm fine. I'm a liquor person, but I respect dope. I respect anything that makes you feel good. I'm all for it. But we are not on this show at Drinks with Dee. We are not going to condemn Rudy Giuliani for getting drunk on election night. We are all for it. We're like, yeah, we're there with you, Rudy.
I'm just asking to be next, if that's the case.
I know. I think
like, take me down now.
I mean, look,
where's the crime with that?
Yeah, totally. So I'll share with you guys that, so I was really drunk with Obama winning because I couldn't stand Obama. So I was drunk then. And then Paul and I are in New York and the Trumps are like saying, come to the party. They literally asked us at Trump Plaza or wherever it was. I don't remember. And funny enough, it was like the guy that went to jail and then hated him. I don't know. Who was the guy? Who was his attorney? Michael?
Cohen?
Huh?
Michael Cohen?
Are you talking about Michael Avenatti?
No. Oh, no, God, not that guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. The guy that went to jail.
I think his name was Cohen.
Cohen.
No, Michael Cohen. That's right. I think, right? So anyway, so he says, please come over. Donald would like for you to, because Paul's known Donald, not me, but he's known Donald for like 30 years or something, played tennis with him, blah, blah, whatever. And I was always a big fan of Donald Trump. In the beginning on Fox, it was like, you're an idiot. What the hell are you thinking? That's a joke. I'm like, no, I think if he runs, he'll win. Whether I didn't say I liked him, but I do. I'm just saying that I just predicted that if he, and I did this long ago on Red Eye, I predicted it. It is on air with hundreds of thousands of viewers. I said, I think if Donald Trump runs, he will win. And hello, he did. So don't complain about me. I said the same thing about George Bush. So not that I'm a Svengali, but I do have a good sense for politics. And I'll tell you right now, Biden ain't winning again. No. I know it's a stretch, but it's not happening. Okay. So anyway, not that we're talking politics today. We're talking about the Godfather and the offer and such. But since we were saying that poor Rudy Giuliani was a drunk man, now I understand it. And we're all drunk on election night. So I think we're all like, okay, what's the problem? Right? What do you think, Duane? What do you think about that?
I hadn't even heard of it, him being drunk on election night, but who wasn't?
I know. Well, that's the motto of this show. If you're not drunk on election night, you're a loser. That's how we think on this show. It's not like we're going to church the morning after the election. We're nursing a hangover. We're like, oh my gosh. Whether you're for or against, you're celebrating or you're like in mourning. So you're going to be drinking.
I mean, what do you have to do on a Wednesday that's more important than that Tuesday election?
Nothing. Michael, what happens on that Wednesday? Absolutely nothing. They all go at CNN and Fox News, and those are the only people working. Everybody else is just slugging it out, trying to survive, going, what the hell happened last night?
Even the newscasters can phone it in. They're just reading percentages. 48.6% to 51 point.
Saying it all day. Like
Yeah,
the same
all
thing all
day.
day. All
And
day.
for the 90th time, Vermont.
And we're so surprised about Bernie Sanders state, aren't we? Always. It's just always such a
Oh, what a
surprise.
shocker.
What a shocker.
Texas, what a shocker.
Ohio. Now, Ohio, can be surprising, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
It's tricky. It's a little shifty.
Yeah, those Buckeyes
No.
can be a little tricky, but not the Vermonters or whatever they are. We're not Vermonters. I don't know, Kurt. What are they called?
Vermonters?
Yeah,
Yeah.
aren't they called something?
The full Vermonty.
Well, folks, you're family, so I'm going to fill you in. So, Duane, first, everybody say hi to Duane because he's a new guy.
Hi, Duane. Hi, Duane.
Nice to
So
meet everybody.
Yeah, so we always try to be a little bit nice to the new person initially, and then, they 90% of the time they never come back.
Well, sneak up on me. I can.
I think Duane has the balls. I think he's got the
Oh.
gonads to be able to handle it. So Duane,
They are hanging low today.
they're hanging low. That's good. That can be useful.
It's a hot summer.
Hot shot in the city, running wild and looking pretty. All right, but and then we didn't talk about the liquor. So again, let me bitch about this because I'm going to bitch soon. Godfather of Harlem bottle for Paul's birthday. More to the story coming. So Jennifer, what are you drinking?
I'm having a White Russian.
Okay, well,
What sounded good today. So just some fluid, some vodka, I use milk instead of cream.
You might have the FBI at your door. Biden, the FBI. If you're having a White Russian, you're white and a Russian. You are the enemy. You're the enemy.
No. It's a drink, which I just spelled.
Duane,
How many of those White Russians are you having?
We spill a lot of drinks on this show, but I mean, how funny is that? On my show, I love it that we're having a White Russian, Jennifer. It's white. For one, that's politically incorrect because we're too white here because there are no black people or brown people. So, of course, I'm a racist because it's all white people. I'm sorry. Those are the ones that said, yes, screw you. That is what it is. I'm from Indiana. What do you expect? So there's that. Then it's a Russian. So we hate the Russians now. Of course, everybody's against the Russians. Even though if you're from Russian, you don't believe in it. How would you like to be in America and be a Russian? That kind of sucks right now, doesn't it? Screw yeah. It's so unfair. So anyway.
Well, that happens around the world, though, because Americans traveling around get blamed for a lot of things that they might not agree with.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do we agree with presidents? It's like every other president, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you hate, but then you're abroad and everyone blames you for that person. Like, I didn't vote for him. I don't want this. I mean, that works both ways. So yeah.
Kurt, when you went to Iceland and, Trump's president, what are they saying to you?
Well, it's interesting because during 2016, during the election, I was in Sweden, and you think, oh, well, socialist Sweden and all of that. I had a cab driver who was really in favor of Trump. I asked him why, and he sort of gave me all these different ideas that you don't notice when you're in the country, but you're noticing from outside that something's up with the United States, and he was very interested in a Trump presidency, and you wouldn't expect that from a place like Sweden. So yeah, it's interesting that we can get outside perspectives like that. That's one of the reasons why when I read the press and watch sort of political news, I often go online to foreign press to see how they're covering things here.
Yeah, I like BBC. Yeah. I think they're pretty fair. I think BBC does a good job, better than CNN.
I used to write for the Economist magazine a long time ago, so I was
good
following
one.
them as well.
Good one. I like it. So Duane, you've been watching The Offer, right? Are you stoned? Are you hearing me? Are you there? Did you?
I think he's in.
They don't last long, do they?
We're losing Duane already.
He's
breaking up. He's breaking up.
Breaking bad.
Come back.
Duane, hello. Are you there?
Maybe he
No.
muted us.
Yeah, I think he did. All right. You know what? They never lie. I mean, look, it's always the case. I feel like Murphy Brown and the assistant, which most of you might be too young to know what that means.
I remember that
But
well.
every time I bring in a new person, they kind of just don't last. They just go away. That's okay. That's okay. So Duane's watching. I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand Duane
While we're
right now.
having this with a technical difficulty, I'm having Woodford Reserve bourbon again.
I hope so. All right.
good.
So we've got bourbon. We've got
I
scotch.
like the jar there that you have.
Yeah, we've got scotch
Oh, yeah, I love it.
from Godfather of Harlem, which
People are
there's
using
more
these
to the
as
story.
light bulbs now. You just screw them in, and it's pretty cool.
And
Yeah.
Jennifer spilled her white Russian. She spilled her white Russian because I was shaming her, and she's like, and she's back.
He's back with more.
My son
I love
was
it.
watching. My son was
love
watching
it.
TVs with commercials the other day, and he goes, "Dad, I saw this kid. He spilt a drink on his tablet, and then he took this napkin that's a quilted picker-upper, and they wiped it up in one swipe. We just got to get one of those quilted picker-uppers."
I love the 80s. Or maybe I was 80s. I don't know.
He was like, "It was one swipe."
Very impressive. So, Stephanie, show me your drink, please.
I don't have it yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the wine.
He's waiting for
So-
Rudy to bring the
I
wine.
thought Rudy would have brought it by now, no?
Your audio.
He is coming back from getting his hair cut. So,
Oh, that's very important stuff.
well, former Marine, it's
Of
important.
course.
I don't
Or
want him
not.
to get a mullet. He tried a
Ew.
beard. He tried a beard, and I'm like, you're getting rid of that. You're getting rid of that right now. So, I don't, he,
So, Duane, I'm scared to ask. Are you with us? No, he's not.
It says connecting to audio.
Hands off.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so before we get into the offer and the Godfather and the Paramount Plus wonderful series that I just watched this morning, and I teared up, and I don't know why, but Stephanie and I have been back and forth on this. We love the series, The Offer, which talks about the making of the Godfather, which a lot of people think it's the best movie of all time. I think that Godfather, Goodfellas, it's pretty darn close, back and forth, depends on the day. Like every other day, right? So anyway, but before that, let me share a story with you all, since you're family, about Godfather of Harlem. Since we're talking about mob shows, and of course my husband is a mob-esque actor, Paul Sorvino, legend Paul Sorvino. So this Macallan 12 came from Godfather of Harlem on Paul's birthday. We look forward to seeing you on the 3rd season of Godfather of Harlem. Great. Cheers. Let me take a sip before I tell you the rest. Because did you hear that swallow? Isn't it gross when you hear someone swallow? But anyway, now that I have the mic right here, I bet you heard that. So anyway, so we get the message yesterday that, and you all have the scoop. You're the first people to hear this. It's a big deal because you're family. It's Drinks with Dee Dee. That's what we do. We take care of each other. So we get the call and say, and they're like, well, there was an issue about me being on the set because I don't have the vax. I've never received the vaccination. I don't believe in it. I'm not doing it. No, thank you. So they're like, well, Dee Dee, and this is a Disney production. Epics is a Disney production. So they're like, well, Dee Dee is banned from the set. She cannot come on the set. She cannot step foot on the set. Paul, take a guess what Paul said. Just wondering, what do you think Paul said to that? And mind you,
Disney would like.
mind you, Paul plays the boss of all the Italian mobs. So he doesn't exactly have a small part. It's a pivotal part. It's a big deal. In Godfather of Harlem, Paul is friends with Bumpy Johnson. He plays Forrest Whitaker plays Bumpy Johnson. He's a Godfather of Harlem, but Paul is like his friend. He's his ally where the other Italians hate him. He is the boss of the Italians, so it's no small thing for Paul not to be a part of the show. So they just say, well, we can bring your clothes to your hotel room and bring it on or whatever. And Paul's like, let's get back to the real question. Is Dee Dee allowed on the set? And they said no. So take a guess what Paul Sorvino said.
I'm not going to be in the show then. I'm not going.
Why would he do that?
Because he's a true American.
The rule it's stupid. there's
Yeah.
no reason for you not to be on the set.
Yep.
Especially now.
I mean,
This is no small thing, folks. Now,
no, it's not.
now, look, believe me, it's going to be in the news. It's like, why is Paul Sorvino not in Godfather of Harlem? And I think they're going to try to spin it out to something else. Let me assure you, this is about the vax.
They will.
No,
They will.
I will take Paul, and you're all coming. I will send a freaking plane for you. We're all going to Disney World, standing behind Paul Sorvino, the boss. This is about your vax. Hello, Governor DeSantis, Donald Trump, whatever. My husband did not do the show because his wife was banned from the freaking set. And he's like, well, no wife, no me. I don't need this. How many productions and how many shows has Paul Sorvino done? He's a legend. He doesn't need this shit. If his wife's not there, he's not interested because it's not fun anymore. And he did not appreciate the fact that Disney banned his wife from the set when last year and the year before they just let us get tests. So I don't know, am I missing something here for us not to be happy with this and for us not to say no thanks?
It might be union rules, SAG-AFTRA.
No, I don't think it is. No, I think
Okay.
SAG was, no, well, I don't know, Stephanie, you might be right, but I was told from our publicist, because I said, can you believe this stuff? And he said, well, I think SAG makes you take a couple tests. But see, I think Disney is far, far stricter than even SAG-AFTRA.
I honestly think that this might be something for you to talk to Mr. Chapek about, considering he
Who?
just fired the CEO. He just fired the biggest woke person there. The guy.
The TV guy, right?
Yeah, he was
The
basically
TV guy.
over,
No,
over everything that wasn't Lucasfilm, Pixar, or Marvel. Him.
yeah.
And they're trying to spin it like it was a bad thing. But when I looked at it, I talked to a friend of mine who's in Hollywood, and I was like, Chapek just said, because of this, about what happened last March with all the woke idiots screaming about the Parental Rights Act. And he basically had to do a hostage video. Not a happy guy. So he gets this Peter Rice guy to walk in on 2 weeks ago Monday, and it was a 7-minute meeting. Basically, it was, you don't fit into the new company culture, you're gone.
Yeah, well,
They
neither
paid-
do the Sorvinos, because you know what? Dee Dee didn't get the vax, so Paul's not going to go because they won't let his wife on the set because she didn't get the vax.
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
and Stephanie, you might be right. It might be a union thing, but it might not be SAG-AFTRA. It might be one of the other unions because
I
there are
think it's
multiple
Disney.
overlapping unions there.
Yeah.
Well,
It-
I've heard from friends that the Teamsters, which it's your lighting people, it's your electricians, it's your grips, and then the casting directors recently went into Teamsters. They're not putting up with the crap. If you try to require that for them, they'll walk out. And SAG is they're trying to they're trying to get people to drink the Kool-Aid, and more or less.
Well,
No
when did you
Kool-Aid
want to
in your jar
know?
there, right?
What's that?
No Kool-Aid in your jar there, right?
No, no Kool-Aid here.
I'll get the word out. I'll get the word out to some people before the news hits. Okay.
But I wanted
that
you
is
all to
terrible.
know.
It's nothing.
I wanted you all to know
Yeah.
because I feel a little guilty about it, because
Don't.
Paul's a legend. He liked the show. But the shoot was a little, it wasn't exactly the most luxurious shoot if you get my drift, but we were okay with it. But Paul's not going to go
It's a great
without me
show.
because, and Paul was great in it. And he was like the mob boss. And they're not going to bring Paul on because Paul said, well, I'm not going to go without my wife. Then it's not fun anymore. I don't need this. And Paul's a legend. He doesn't need to do it. But isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
That it's
How rude is that? Think of like a wedding invitation where you receive a wedding invitation and they say your spouse isn't allowed to come.
Exactly.
But you can come and have fun. It's like, what? No way.
No. But it gets worse than that because look, Paul double vax, but the second shot really, really made him sick. Okay. The second shot was horrible for him. So they went in to get a booster, and I'm like, no fucking way are you getting the booster. That's for goddamn sure. Forget it. Sorry, Kurt. I know I cursed really badly. So anyway, but I'm really not happy about this. So my husband is suffering. Well, he's not. He didn't care. Honestly, Paul didn't care. He's like, all right, whatever. If you're not going, it's not fun anymore. I did 2 seasons. I'm moving on. So that's how Paul feels, but I feel worse than he does because I feel like I'm responsible for Paul not doing a role that he likes. It's my fault. Because I didn't get the vax, I didn't want to get the vax, and my husband is being punished because I don't believe in the vax. So I do feel bad.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say that, you know, there's a lot of actors that are either up and coming in Hollywood that don't want to do that he's representing, and there's even some actors that are well known that are on the cusp and they don't want to speak out. But he had the courage to speak out.
But most don't. Most will get the vax and won't speak out. But Paul, you know Paul's like, he's going to do whatever he wants. But I do still feel bad because if not for me, the fact of the matter is, if not for me, he would be doing that show.
Dee Dee, it's not your fault. They need to respect people's choices, you know?
Exactly.
And they're not. And that's, to me, it's kind of a tyrannical thing. Well, you can't do this.
Yeah, especially when it's not conclusive evidence and research yet.
Well, and it doesn't make sense the vaccines wear off.
Yeah, I got the vaccine. I got COVID.
And hello, Fauci yesterday. He's had what? You know, he's totally vaccinated. Probably had boosters, and he got COVID. I have had nothing, and I have never had COVID. Yeah, and they're not letting me on the set
for you to do the testing, and if your test is fine, then you should be fine.
That's exactly it. As long as you have alternatives. If they're not offering you an alternative, that's where I think the fault lies. I don't think it's you. So let Father Kurt absolve you, Dee Dee.
Thank you, but I do feel bad. I feel bad for Paul.
So
I did this.
Here's the thing. As you said, Paul's a big boy. He's an adult. He made this decision, and he made this decision largely out of loyalty to you. And the truth is, that's more important than any show.
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
More important than any show.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the bourbon.
I respect him all the more. I mean, I had great respect for him before. When you told me what was happening with that, it's like through the roof respect.
Yeah.
I just feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. Have more Macallan.
Yeah.
Have some.
Drink up on Disney.
The bourbon reminded me of when I worked with Disney right when this thing started happening, the pandemic or whatever. I was an extra on a Disney show, and what you had to do was you had to go and get a swab in your nose the day before working, and they didn't even check my mask, my ID, or anything. They just said, "What's your name? Go right in."
What's your number? 92345.
I could have sent my friend down, and they wouldn't have known it wasn't me.
Well, let me tell you all even more about how terrible this is. So whenever they said, "Oh, well, you have to be fully vaxxed," well, Paul got the full vax a year ago, but then he got sick from the second shot. So then they said you need a booster. And I'm like, well, he's not going to do that because the second shot made him sick. No way, right? I mean, it's not worth it. So anyway, so they're like, well, we'll give you a form. Paul a form, not me. So Paul can get a form after the second shot saying, and I read it, and saying you have underlying conditions, so you can't get the booster, or you have religious reasons, Father Kurt. I don't know where religion doesn't allow that, but I was tempted to call him a pagan or whatever else, right? But I just went with the underlying conditions, to be honest, because, you know, the last shot made him very sick. It was not good. And we were not going to do the booster for sure. So, but then it got to me and they're like, you are banned. Forget you, right winger. Forget you. You are not allowed on the set. So that upset Paul because, you know, we do these things for fun at this point. Paul has a big career. He's done a lot of things. So if he goes and it's not pleasant, he doesn't need to do it. He's done enough.
Yeah.
I know, but it made me feel bad because I'm like, I really prevented my husband from doing a role that he likes. But because of the situation, it would be a terrible shoot. So, you know, I'm not happy about this at all. And I feel like they're going to come back and go, oh, well, Paul couldn't do it. Screw you. That was not it. This is about the damn vax, Disney. Don't even go there. Or I will sue them. You think they'll be the Amber Heard of, Hollywood. I mean, because, this is about the vax and the vax only. So I sort of feel like they don't want, whenever people say, why did Paul Sorvino not do this? Well, it's the vax. You banned his right-winger wife because you hate her, because you hate people like her, and you don't want her on the set because of what she believes. That is why things, but instead I think they're going to say, oh, well, Paul couldn't do it. No. We put it in writing to the agent. If Dee Dee, as long as, we can be on the set and, we have this certain, but they said, no way, screw her. She can't be on. So I'm the reason for this. It just is what it is. So let's see how they spin it. Get ready.
I think Paul and Gina Carano would be great in a TV show, minus Disney.
For sure. But, you don't see what I mean. I feel bad for Paul, because if not for me, he'd be doing the show. I do feel bad. I feel like I'm the cause of it. But okay, but let me tell you that when they talked about this, they didn't even give me enough time to get the facts, even if I wanted to. Now, do you all think I would have done it?
No.
That's like sending the wedding invitation the day before.
But still, think about it. Maybe other people would. Maybe other people would be like, okay, for my husband, I'll get the facts. And I do feel a bit guilty because I still wouldn't do it. Because Paul loved that role. And he is like the boss of all the Italians. And I am the only thing preventing him from doing it. So I do feel some guilt. I feel bad. But I feel worse about Disney being assholes.
They are.
You gotta have someone who's going to stand up for you and believe in you and who you are as an individual and your thoughts and beliefs. And Paul's standing up for you because he doesn't want to make you do something that he already knows that you don't want to do. And
he didn't want to go on set without me. He says, I want to be with my wife. Like, see, at this point, Paul doesn't need to do anything. He has nothing to prove. Yeah. He is like, he does things if they're fun. But if I'm not there, I know you're shocked, but I can be a lot of fun. So if I'm not there, Paul's thinking this is going to be a miserable shoot. If my wife can't go, I'm out. And that's what happened. And this happened yesterday. It is no small thing. So I wanted to share with you, wanted to break the news, give the scoop here. And who knows how Disney's going to spin it, because you're going to say, well, why isn't Paul Sorvino in the show? They're going to have to come up with an answer. What do you all think they're going to say?
I don't even want to say it because I
know. Right?
I can't. I can hear it, but I'm not.
I'm ready for it.
I'm gonna get really pissed off if they do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I've got no patience for PR liars. Okay, right. Which is what is gonna. That's what it's gonna be. That's exactly what they're gonna.
I know, but then we're gonna sue them, and then it's gonna be big, and it's gonna be the bitch wife is like, this is her fault, whatever. I mean, I can see where this could get ugly really fast, but it may not. They may be smart enough to say, well, they couldn't come up with the contract, and they couldn't agree with the contract. Okay, fine. But if they make it something that's not, shit's gonna hit the fan. I'm calling DeSantis. I'm calling Trump. I'm calling everybody.
Yeah,
as you should.
Yep, as you should.
Then it'll become a mini series called The Godfather of Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's not right, none of it. So I don't know, but Stephanie, seriously, what do you think they're going to try to do? I'm just curious. We'll see. We'll see.
They
if you're right.
might, and I'm going to be, because I am brutally honest. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to have to, because this might be the line they take.
That's where we are. This is where we are.
They might cite his age.
Of course, that's what I think. They're going to go ageism.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say fuckers, and I'm going to be like, I'm suing you, and I ain't Amber Heard, motherfuckers. Yeah. I mean, you want to go there. You think Johnny Depp was popular? Try Big Polly, fuckers. Yeah. You want to go there? We'll go there. So I'm with you. I think that's coming like, oh, Paul couldn't do it. No. We were there, but you motherfuckers said the wife is banned because she didn't get the fucking vax, and you didn't even give me time to get the vax. What if I felt bad about this and I wanted to get a vax? They didn't even give me time to do it. They're like, well, it's too late, too sad, too bad. Well, don't you all think that's a problem? Now, I wasn't getting it anyway. Don't think I was, because I wasn't. I was not happening. But I'm just saying, what if somebody wanted to do it and like, okay, well, I'll get it or whatever. Like, well, no, you just can't be on the set. Well, that's a big deal to my husband. He doesn't want to do it without me. He's done everything and anything. So why would he go and do something that's unpleasant? Because it would be very unpleasant and not interesting.
That's 8 to 16 hours in case,
That's
other
right.
people don't know. Could go up to 22 hours.
That's
I've been on a
right.
set for 22 hours.
And this is a
Long,
hard
long
shoot.
days.
This is not an easy shoot. And, we're in a dank, difficult, like big warehouse for Godfather of Harlem because, it's a gritty show. Not Paul say, I mean, look, the show is good and the scenes are good and Paul's great in it with Forrest Whitaker. He loves him, whatever. But the shoot itself is a difficult shoot. So already it's a difficult shoot. But without me, are you fucking kidding me? But, well, we're going to ban the wife. We ban the wife. Dee Dee is not allowed on set. I cannot step foot on that Disney set because I did not get the damn vaccine. I didn't even get the chance to get it. They didn't even give time to get it. So I'm sorry, but I think there's something wrong with this picture. But let me tell you something. If they spin this like this is Paul, ageism or whatever, we will sue the hell out of them. And you think Johnny Depp won? Wait for Big Polly. You heard it here first.
All right.
That they weren't giving you time or any kinds of
No.
alternatives. It sounds like they were
No.
acting in bad faith. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
the contracts made in bad faith. Yeah. That's the phrase that comes to mind over and over again. This is a bad faith offer. This is a bad faith deal.
And
Bad faith effort.
Kurt, I
That's
didn't even
right.
have a chance to make it right.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's
Yeah.
right. I'm just saying right in their mind. For me, it's not right. But I feel so sorry looking at my husband thinking he loved this role and I screwed it up because I didn't get the vax, what I believe in. But they didn't. But to be fair, they didn't even give me the opportunity to change it. That's what I'm mad about because I'm like, you all are not even thoughtful enough to do that.
You know what's
Well, and
even
there's
more
no public
crazy?
health
It's a show
emergency
about
then.
heroin and murdering people.
Paul's the boss of all the Italians
Sorry,
and he's
Jennifer. Go
beloved.
ahead.
No, it's just I don't think there's a current public health emergency that would require them to change the rules. So that
And
doesn't
Jennifer, and that's a good point. The last 2 seasons, we would get tests. We were tested. Okay.
that makes sense.
If I
That's what they
test
do with the
positive,
crew.
if I test positive, I understand that. And I never have. I've never had COVID. I've never had shit since the 80s, right? I don't even remember being sick then. I don't get sick, right? Guess why? Hello. Hello.
It's all for medicinal purposes. That's what I keep telling people.
I'm telling you, it worked. All I know is why is Drinks with Dee Dee host never sick? I'm just guessing. This might have something to do with it. Hard liquor. But but it's unfair to Paul to not be able to play the part and play like a major part because they kick off the right winger wife because she didn't get the vaccine. I didn't have the opportunity to get it. So I think it's so horrible. And even though Paul's a good sport, I still feel bad because I really am the one thing that kept him from doing this role. And Disney's an asshole. And that's what. So anyway, if you all see one sliver of something other than this being the vax, time to go to town. Time to go to
Okay.
People Magazine. Time to
I'm
go
gonna
to Entertainment Tonight. Everybody and talk about how in Disney's. It's not like they're not in the doghouse anyway, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a long, hard slog to get out of it, and they don't need Variety plastering this all over the front page or even on page 6.
Frankly, I
you
could
know.
could call them right now and say, "Let me tell you what happened and how crappy this is." But I have a tendency to not start a fight. I like
Don't.
to party. I don't start a fight, but I will fucking damn well end it. You start it, I will end it. So get ready. Because I don't think that they want to be blamed for Big Polly, one of their big stars, not coming back because of the vax. I just feel like they're going to try to spin that. Don't you all think so?
Yeah, they will. I know they will. That's what they do.
But that's what happened. So if they do that, I will go to everybody. You all will be the first to know. I'm just saying this is a scoop. It's no small thing because they're like, well, why isn't Paul Sorvino coming back? What the fuck are you going to say, Disney? What are you going to say? Are you going to tell the truth and say it was the vax? You're going to say you banned his fucking wife because she's a right winger and she doesn't believe in the vax. What are you going to say? And if you say 1 inch of something untrue, I'm going to sue your ass. Enjoy that. And guess what? We'll win that because it's all in writing. Paul told the producers, look, I want Dee on the set. And they said there's no way around it. In fact, they even said it was maddening, that it was not good or whatever. But you know what they'll do? You know, Disney PR, they're in trouble now, right? Don't you all feel like everybody thinks Disney is fucked up right now?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I said, you know, this started in March, and the guy that was actually trying to stage a coup against the CEO got fired. And but it's going to be a long, hard slog to get him out of that. And people, there's still enough people at Disney to screw something up like this that is going to be a surprise for him and the chairman of the board. They're going to be like, what? You know, because it's such a layered company, and there's so many layers between the people that would say, hey, knock it off, and, you know, the mid-level idiots that think they're God on his throne and can do whatever they want. And this is what sounds like to me is this sounds like an arbitrary new rule that somebody just pulled out of their.
Well, they didn't do it last year. We didn't even know about it. I mean, like I said, we didn't have the chance to correct it. There was not
like
even
grandstanding to me, because I've run production shoots before, and we had a guy that was immunocompromised. So I just said, all right, you hang out over there, and, you know, let's all keep a social distance.
I know, but Michael, this is Disney. I mean, Disney is the liberal of the liberals. I mean, they are way
I
too
know. It's not even about science. It's not even about N95 masks or social distancing or.
I mean, they're more liberal than SAG-AFTRA. They're the SAG-AFTRA rules, and then there's Disney. And Paul Sorvino, a legend, is not doing this because they banned his wife from the set.
So rude. So embarrassing.
You've never gotten tested to see if you have any of the antibodies, because you could have had COVID and never have known that you had COVID.
But they don't even allow that, Jennifer. I mean, see, here's my point.
Would it be something if you said could show that you did that, then and that you have the antibodies? You say, look, she's had it.
No, gotta have the vax.
They won't even get into that. No, they don't care about the antibodies. They care about power.
More ammunition for your lawsuit.
And this is not about that. This is not about having COVID. This is about their stupid fucking rules and like enforcing them and making a big deal of enforcing them. So I am waiting for one itty bitty slip up. You slip up with my husband even this much and say this is about Paul either not wanting to do it, not being able to do it, being too old to do, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but I will sue the fuck out of them. Just so you all know, it's done, because, you know, I'm the reason Paul is not doing the show, because they banned me from the set because I didn't have the vax, and they didn't even give enough time. They didn't even tell us early enough where I could get the vax. Now, don't you all think that's bad? Because I think most people would fold and say, well, I'll get the vax from my husband. Now, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't fold. I'm that maybe right wing. I'm just, and Paul wouldn't ask me to do that. Paul would say,
well, I'm not a legal person, but isn't that a type of entrapment? If they are requiring you to do this, even as a private company, and they don't give you the opportunity,
and they didn't. They didn't.
I don't know.
They did not give enough time for me to get the vax to be on the set with my husband. But see, they're thinking it's only about Paul. But with Paul, it's not only about Paul. So fuck me. You know, it has not, you know.
Haven't they seen Goodfellas? Don't they know when he walks through the Copacabana, the girl's right there with him? They don't say to the girl, like, oh, you go around. You can't come in with Ray. Fuck you. What?
You know, Paul, you know, and Paul is all about that. Paul is total loyalty. Paul is like doing the right thing. This was like half-assed, terrible, not right. It's not right across the board. It just isn't. So Paul is not in Godfather of Harlem because they banned his wife because she didn't feel right about getting the vax. Not only that, they said Paul needs to get a booster. Well, I'm sorry, that second shot really made Paul sick. But they're like, okay, well, we'll give you a form. We didn't even get the go-ahead if the form was good enough or not, because they said it's against my religion or you have underlying conditions, but I can't get a form. It's just not consistent. It's not right. It's not fair. And in my opinion, it's un-American. And what about these other actors? You know, Paul's a legend. What about these hundreds of thousands of other actors that are being screwed over by Disney?
Yeah. They won't hire you. They won't hire you if you.
Forget
it's a fear tactic. And it's wrong.
You know, I was thinking.
And your husband had the courage to stand up against it. So.
The heart, the balls, everything. But he didn't. Paul, just so you all know, he didn't even blink. Even though I think it kind of like hurts him a little bit, he won't admit that. I'm just sharing with you all because you're family. He's like,
he's an actor. He loves acting. He loves working.
And he loved that. He loved that role with Forrest Whitaker, but he loves his wife more. And he goes, "I'm not leaving my wife behind. This is not right. Your treatment of her."
You know what? Forrest Whitaker's wife would feel the same way. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Your treatment of my wife and other Americans who don't believe in this is wrong. And last year, they said we could get the test. So we assumed it was the same. Why would you assume it was otherwise? So they're like, all of a sudden, Paul's agent, who's with Paul, by the way, the agent's great. He's like, yeah, this isn't right. And he said, well, you got to have the vax this year. Well, you got to have it by March 15th. Hello, this is what, 2 weeks ago? What? I couldn't even get it if I wanted to, and I don't want to, and I would not have done it. I'm sorry, I would not have done it. Even for Paul. I would do anything for Paul. But I am not getting the vax. And I saw what it did to my husband and almost killed on that second vax. It was horrible. And I said, you are not getting that booster. But they're like, oh, we'll give you a pass. Now, I mean, I'm sorry. Is all of this inconsistent and un-American? I think so. Yeah. But I still feel guilty.
If it was up to Disney, we'd still be paying England taxes.
All right. Well, enough of that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get in that too long, but I think it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I'm just embarrassed for Disney. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's terrible. And Paul's such a sweetheart. He's such a good guy. And he said, oh, honey, it's okay. It's okay. But I know he's kind of bummed because he wanted to do that part, and it's my fault. But he also stands by his wife. So, it's just sort of a tearjerker. You know what I mean? Oh, my God, 5 minutes. We haven't even talked about The Offer.
No, we haven't.
Holy crap. Okay. All right. So let's talk about The Offer.
For next time.
Probably. Oh, my God.
Part two.
Okay. Yeah. So this will be a teaser for The Offer. This should be Disney screwed up. Screw you, Disney. I mean, may have to change the title of it. But have you The Offer's so good. Stephanie, I know you've been watching. You and I have been back and forth about it. Isn't it just good?
It is. I want to say this. It's very rare you actually get writers that love what they're writing about. They love it. Actors that love what they're really love and put their heart and soul into it. And when the producers, the directors, and the writers and the actors love the stuff, the audience is going to love it. And I was just mesmerized the moment it started. There's so many great scenes, from George Lucas floating in the back when Coppola's telling him, I don't want to do it, to Ruddy talking to comatose Joe Colombo, and Matthew Good as Bob Evans. Oh, you guys have to look him up on
He's
YouTube.
Awesome. I love him.
So good. So good.
I did that.
So good.
Great.
My gosh.
I mean,
you can't keep your eyes off of him. It's so good.
Then
Miles Teller. Teller, he's sort of this just really likable guy. And just so you all know, Paul and I went to his premiere for The Bleeder or something about a boxer. I mean, this was like a movie he did early on. And he could not have been nicer. What a sweet guy. And nobody knew who he was. And he was just so in awe of Paul. And Paul loves boxing, so they really wanted him to come. And he was just a sweetheart. He's really a sweetheart. He is.
I think I first met him or saw him in the Divergent series. I think that's the first time I saw Miles Teller. It was in the Divergent series.
And of course, in Top Gun, he has a huge part. He's Goose's son.
Yeah. He's one of the executive producers for the
right. And he was so good in it.
Well, I look at him as being, the next generation. Maybe we can get away from some of these people who don't really care about what they're doing. J.J. Abrams, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he loved what he was doing, and it shows.
No, he's so likable. He's so great. What a great guy. I
Yeah.
agree with you, Stephanie, that he's going to kind of move us into the next generation, and
Yeah.
he loves what he's doing. He loves his wife. He's just a great guy. So,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice
Yeah.
for a Hollywood guy. And he is really a Hollywood star now.
Yeah,
Yes.
a while ago there was a market for these just funny, fun college goofy movies that were just DVDs in dorm rooms. And Miles Teller was in one of those. It was a pretty good movie, but the kid just loves acting, and I like that.
Yeah. He looks like he's one of those guys that loves everything about it, which is great. Which is, I think, wonderful. But I can't say enough. The guy that played Charlie Bluthorn.
That guy's so funny. You crazy Austrian fuck. He goes, double do it, double done. Get out of here. Make me some money. That guy is so fucking funny. I love that guy. He's so funny. If you all have not seen The Offer, you have to, because when you see the crazy Austrian, you will laugh so hard. I mean, it's so good.
He's played so many unlikable characters. I can't even tell you what the characters are. I just remember
so good. So good. So good.
He was very good in this.
Now get out of here and make me some money.
Well, the kid, Jake Cannavale, who played Caesar. I mean, he's
good
a monster.
Too.
But
I
was like, you're saying no to dinner with this guy? You could tell your kids. He slept with a mobster.
Did you all watch this? Who didn't? It's okay if you didn't watch it, but have you all seen even a little bit of this? Have you all seen some? Okay. So who's your favorite character? I mean, I have to say, I love the Bob Evans character, even though I keep thinking of Bob Evans down on the farm, which drives me crazy. Because that's what from Indiana, I always think of Bob Evans, the restaurant, but
that's where my mind went right away too.
I know, right, Kurt?
All day breakfast, yes.
Oh, God. But I love this character. He's so good. He's a British guy. They're all good, but this guy, in my opinion, is like A++. So good.
Well, I think one of the best actors on there was the guy who played Pacino, because he had
he was good too.
Anthony Ippolito.
He had the voice down.
Good.
He had everything down.
And Coppola too, but I can't say that in front of my husband because I don't like Coppola. But I thought he was good too. I thought he was really good.
Yeah. I mean, it was just this is
such a great show.
This cast you can't really pin down. But Matthew Good is Robert Evans. I was like,
oh God, it's so good. But you know what people complain about? They complain about the Columbo character. I mean, if I hear anything, I get complaints like he wasn't believable, and I kind of believe that myself. I thought he was like a caricature. I didn't really care for that guy. For Columbo.
Yeah,
they
kind of made it. I mean, Michael Franzese talked a little bit about that, but he was there the day that Columbo got shot. I mean, he was next to him. But Giovanni Ribisi did a good job with the way they told him to do it. I mean, I'm not going to criticize the guy. I love the scene where he was having dinner with him and his wife. And
it's not better. In the beginning, it was just a caricature. It was sort of a joke. I didn't think it was good at all. But then it did grow on me as it went on. And then when he got shot, it was sad. I mean, that's how much it grew on you, right?
I cried. I was upset.
I know you did. That's what you said. I know.
I mean,
Stephanie cried when Columbo died.
Yeah. I mean, it's really funny, but watching those guys, the people that you could actually, if you weren't in business with them, that you could actually go, hey, can you help me with this? Are the mob guys.
Aren't you fascinated? Aren't you all fascinated that The Godfather would not have been done without mafia help? For sure, no doubt about it. I did my research, watched this, this movie would not have been done without mafia help.
And
interesting.
That's true.
Did you paper on this, Dee Dee? Didn't you do this for one of your Harvard classes?
Sort of. Yeah, sort of. A little bit.
It's really interesting, like when Columbo finds out that they fired Ruddy, and then everything shuts down.
And that was great because you know what? You're like, that's
Vic
not happening.
Vic Damone is in The Offer. That's hilarious.
Well, yeah. And then he said, "I'm sorry, I was going to take the part, but I decided not to." And all three of them are going, Sinatra, that fucking Sinatra, you know?
No, but let me tell you about that. And we're so out of time, and I hate this because I went on about our drama with Godfather Harlem. My apologies, and we can talk about this a little more. But like Martino's daughter, Al Martino's daughter, hates the show. So Al Martino, do you all know who he is? Johnny Fontaine, the guy who played Johnny Fontaine. So Al Martino's daughter, she does sort of like a local news thing, you know, like what's going on in LA and old Hollywood. She's very good at it. And she said, this is bullshit. If you watch the opera, they like blow off Martino. Like, who the fuck is that? Nobody knows who Martino is. We're going for, who was it, Stephanie? We're going for Frank Sinatra or whatever.
They basically played up the Sinatra thing because he really did get into a fight with Mario Puzo.
Yeah.
And they did have to pull a fork out of Puzo's
Al
hand.
Martino's daughter is bitching about the fact this is bullshit. They're like, we don't even know who the fuck Al Martino is, you know, and she's like, that's a lie. So it's fascinating because when you get into historical fiction.
Yeah. Well, when people are still alive, like Robert Evans passed away in like 2017. He was 89, by the way. So he was kicking butt and taking names.
Alison Martini is not dicking around. She is still like a news person. She's like, this is bullshit. That did not happen. That's a lie. That's crap. My dad was not like a throwaway. So I'm like, you know what? I kind of believe her. I mean, I love the show, but I kind of believe her.
Well, he probably, he wasn't a throwaway. He was the guy they chose. What they did was they wanted to get Vic Damone, they said. And Damone was like, Sinatra scares me, so no.
He bailed, right? Because the mafia guy was there. So that was like, you know.
Yeah.
And they played that very well in the show. Do we have any time left? I know we don't. Producer from Godworld. Are we done?
I think we're well over.
Oh,
yeah, I think we are.
Right.
I think we are.
Well, I guess we'll pick it up next time, but there's more to talk about, isn't there?
Oh God, there is. There's, I mean,
there's more
everything.
To talk about.
The relationships and all that stuff with Ally McGraw. And
I took all of our time with the drama in the Sorvino household, but it's my
That's the real
podcast.
offer.
Yeah, don't.
Way to go, Disney,
That's
with your
the
bad
real
offer.
That's your bad
Ruining
offer,
our show.
assholes. I mean, come on. You give the offer, then you're like, well, I'm sorry, not with the right-wing wife. She's banned from the fucking set. Now, how do you all think that's going to go with Paul?
No,
well.
So weird.
You banned Paul Sorvino's wife. How the hell do you think that's going to fucking go? I'm not sure, but I think you all know.
It's like you're invited to a wedding. It's like, oh, well, your wife can't come.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I always laugh at that because we actually did that to somebody in our marriage. It took a minute for both of us, and we knew that the marriage between the two of them was on the rocks, and we didn't want him in any of our pictures.
Yeah, well,
that's
Disney's
different
out.
if he's already
all right.
out.
So let's do a toast and let producer gods of the world cut out whatever you got to, not the good stuff. So anyway, let's do a picture. We'll talk more about it next week, right? Love you guys.
All right.
Scoop.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Let us know you got it.
Bye-bye.